This episode is brought to you by Mortgage Workflow Partners and the Mastering Encompass series, both for users as well as administrators. You can find out all the information about it over at masteringencompass.com. Also, if you'd like to check out what we're doing on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel using the @MasteringEncompass handle. And make sure you stay up to date on all the information, not just with podcasts, but also video content that we bring to you as often as possible. Now let's get on to the episode. Hi everyone, Larry Bailey here with Mortgage Workflow Partners, bringing you another market recap. This one is from the week of March 3rd, 2025. Gang, bad news. There are signs of turbulence in the labor sector, and it's building. While recent reports show that homeownership remains a fantastic investment opportunity, there are stories to be aware of. If you ever wanted to learn everything you needed to learn and didn't even realize you didn't know about the Encompass platform by ICE Mortgage Technology, head over to masteringенcompass.com and you will hear me teach you lessons of how to leverage the Encompass platform, both desktop, web, TPO Connect, and Consumer Connect and admin tools, all into one cohesive, structured format with recordings, live classes. It's a 12-month subscription, so you can make sure that your learning never ends. That's at masteringенcompass.com. So these stories that we're going through today are the February jobs report revealing underlying weaknesses, job growth declines in private sectors. The next story is initial jobless claims decrease and a job cut announcements surge. Homeownership remains a solid wealth building opportunity is the next story, followed by the family hack of the week. And you'll see that family hack of the week here on the video, which you'll find at masteringенcompass.com. And then we'll talk about what to look for this week coming up, the week of March 10th. So on screen here, we see February jobs report reveals underlying weaknesses. We've got the Bureau of Labor Statistics reporting an additional 151,000 jobs posted in February, falling short of the forecast that anticipated 160,000 to 170,000 positions. Revisions to the December and January indicate a slight decrease of 2,000 jobs, while the unemployment rate increased from 4% to 4.1%. Bottom line of the story is hidden in the headline job figure. Even though the headline job figure was just a minor miss against expectations, if you look closer into the data, it truly reveals an underlying weakness throughout the whole report. This divergence is particularly noticeable between the two surveys, which include the jobs report, which presents the contrasting narratives regarding the growth. Remember that the headline job numbers, that's 151,000, that's derived from the business survey, which is based on modeling and estimations. And in contrast, the household survey, which of course is viewed as more real time because they actually call households and they're like, hey, do you have a job? And that reported a significant loss of 588,000 jobs. The household survey also indicated a loss of 1.2 million full-time positions, which is offset by an increase of 610,000 part-time jobs last month. Notably, the only age group to experience job gains was those aged 16 to 19. So kudos to those job gains for that age range. Additionally, hours worked remained at a 15-year low of 34.1 hours per week, reflecting cautious measures by businesses to manage costs, which they often do by reducing employee hours, right? So overall, these data points suggest that there's a softening labor market. Given the Fed Reserve's mandate, dual side between price stability and maximum employment, this report may prompt the Fed to consider rate cuts sooner if these trends persist. The next story is job growth declines in private sector, and we see on screen, this monthly changes in U.S. private employment. This is brought to you from ADP Employment. You can see how this is really rolling through. And so in February, private sector job growth fell short of expectations with only 77,000 new positions created compared to the 140,000 that they were expecting. This marks the lowest increase in job gains since July of 2024, attributed to losses in sectors such as trade and transportation, information, healthcare, and education, and mining. Employment among small businesses also decreased, reversing January's gains. In contrast, medium-sized businesses, and that's between 50 to 500 employees, and large firms, which is over 500 employees, recorded modest growth, adding 46,000 and 37,000 jobs respectively. Salary growth remains steady for current employees at 4.7%, while it dipped slightly for those transitioning jobs, falling from 6.8 to 6.7%. Neela Richardson gave us the bottom line here. Neela is the chief economist at ADP and noted that, quote, policy uncertainty and a slowdown in consumer spending might have led to layoffs or a slowdown in hiring last month, close quote. She added that the data, along with other recent indicators, points to a hiring hesitation among employers as they navigate the economic landscape ahead. It's a nice way to say it, Neela. Next story is initial jobless claims decrease and a job cut announcements surge. So the initial jobless claims declined by 21,000 to 221,000 in the most recent week, falling below expectations. However, continuing jobless claims increased 42,000 to 1.897 million, nearing a three-year high as they've remained above 1.8 million since last June. This suggests ongoing challenges in the labor market's ability to effectively integrate job seekers. Personal note here, I bet you we're going to blow past that 1.89 million, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hit over 2 million. In the coming reports. We'll see. While initial unemployment filings have mostly remained muted, the latest report from Challenger Gray and Christmas recorded a significant spike in job cut announcements. In February, there were 172,017 jobs, it's very specific, cuts announced, a 245% rise from January and the highest monthly total since July 2020. Challenger attributed this surge factors to like the Department of Government Efficiency actions, canceled government contracts, trade war concerns, and increased bankruptcies. Sounds like a really awesome way to start the year. That's a personal note. The mixed signals in labor data, market data, muted initial claims, but rising continuing claims and surging job cut announcements indicate persistent challenges in the employment landscape. The next story, a reminder that homeownership remains a solid wealth-building opportunity. So in January, home prices across the nation saw modest increases, which is modest is good. We want to have modest, consistent growth. So according to CoreLogic, there was a 0.04 rise and a 3.3 annual increase, while ICE reported a 0.12 rise and a 3% annual growth. The bottom line here is CoreLogic anticipates that prices will remain steady in February with a projected increase of 3.6% over the next year. This aligns with other forecasts predicting approximately 4% appreciation for the year. Such expectations affirm that homeownership is an effective means for Americans to accumulate wealth. For example, a home valued at $600,000 appreciating by 4% in a year would have resulted in a $24,000 gain. I know this example is like used consistently. I just say, home appreciation is only real when you realize it. And so you can realize it by either borrowing against it or selling it. Other than that, it's like owning a piece of stock that goes up. Yeah, it's you have a paper value, but until you actually sell it, it ain't cash. So here's Family Hack of the Week on screen. Guys, if you don't have to wait, you really don't have to wait until National Chicken Noodle Soup Day. That's happening on March 13th. Here's this delicious recipe from the Food Network. You can check it out on screen. If you're not watching on screen, head over to masteringencompass.com at this point in the recording today and get to making some chicken noodle soup for March 13th. Gang, what we're looking for this week is on Tuesday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release data on job openings, followed by key inflation metrics, including the Consumer Price Index on Wednesday, the Producer Price Index on Thursday, and additionally, the latest jobless claims figures will be reported on Thursday. My name is Larry Bailey with Mortgage Workflow Partners. Thanks for always listening to what we have going on here. We'll catch you on the next one. See you now.